If Obama has his way, we will not be able to use U.S. military forces without Russian and Chinese approval. You heard right. That's what we're talking about in today's video. It's unbelievable. In our book, Screwed, that comes out on Tuesday of next week, we have a section that discusses the International Criminal Court, one of the greatest threats to our sovereignty that there is. Every other nation in the world except us and Somalia has signed an agreement giving the court jurisdiction over their citizens. And Obama and Hillary are pushing for the United States to accept the jurisdiction as well. Now, part of the International Criminal Court is fine. It's about war crimes, and they used it to go after Taylor, the Liberian dictator, and Milosevic, and so on. But the big problem is that it includes a new crime called aggression. And the crime of aggression is defined as going to war using military force without the approval of the United Nations. And of course, UN approval means Security Council approval, which means that it is not vetoed by Russia or China. And if you go to war without Security Council approval, like Bush did in Iraq, you then are liable for arrest, prosecution, and incarceration as a result. When Bush was going to travel to Switzerland to accept an award 2 years ago, he canceled the trip because Switzerland was a signatory to the International Criminal Court, and there was an arrest warrant out for him, and he was worried he would be arrested. And when he toured East Africa last year, they kept calling on the East African countries to arrest him while he was there. Now, if the United States signs this criminal court agreement, the President, the Vice President, the Defense Secretary, the Secretary of State, perhaps even the Chief of Staff commanders are going to be subject to arrest and imprisonment if they go to war without United Nations approval. It is absolutely something that would defang the American military. It's the most unbelievable thing you can imagine. And, by the way, the International Criminal Court has no trial by jury, no right to confront your accusers, no right to a speedy trial, no limits on search and seizure, no privilege against self-incrimination, none of the things that are in the Bill of Rights that we have. And if a person is tried and convicted, tried in the United States and acquitted, and even if the acquittal is affirmed by the upper court, it can still be reviewed by the International Criminal Court, even if it was an American committing a crime against American citizens on American soil. It completely preempts the jurisdiction of the Congress in declaring war and of the United States court system in adjudicating guilt. This is all spelled out along with a whole variety of other treaties that are deadly in their implication that Obama is pushing in the final months of his presidency in our book, Screwed. He knows he's going to be defeated. And he and Secretary of State Clinton and the Democratic majority in the Senate are determined to ram through 6 or 7 of these treaties that will bind his successors. And I do mean bind. Once a treaty is signed and ratified by the United States Senate, it has the force of a constitutional amendment. The courts are obliged to follow it. The Congress cannot repeal it. The only way out of it is to get all other 160 nations to agree to abrogate the treaty and let the United States out of it. This is such a threat. So read about it. Buy my book, Screwed, that Eileen and I wrote. It's on dickmorris.com. And while you're there, if you feel like it, click, and I'll send you a personalized and signed bookplate you can put in the book. I've been doing them all week, and my illegible handwriting, I'll say to you your names and sign my own. So thanks a lot for watching.